Freddy the Frog, a leap of friendship and courage, in the middle of a quiet pond, surrounded by tall cattails and lily pads, lived a small, adventurous frog named Freddy. Freddy loved to hop from one lily pad to another, racing the dragonflies and exploring every corner of his pond. But there was one thing Freddy had never done. He had never left the safety of the pond to explore the wide world beyond. Freddy's best friend, Lulu the ladybug, always told him stories about the great meadow that lay just beyond the pond. There were flowers that stretched taller than any cattail, bees that buzzed from bloom to bloom, and a rainbow of butterflies that filled the sky. "You should come see the meadow with me one day, Freddy," Lulu said one sunny morning, her little wings fluttering excitedly. Freddy hesitated. The idea of leaving the pond made him nervous. "I don't know, Lulu. The pond is my home, and I don't know if I'm brave enough to explore something so big." Lulu smiled kindly. "You're braver than you think, Freddy. The meadow is beautiful, and I'll be with you the whole time." That evening, Freddy sat on a large lily pad, looking up at the sky. The moon reflected on the water, casting a silver glow over the pond. Freddy knew he loved his home, but a part of him was curious about what lay beyond the familiar reeds and water lilies. "Maybe I can do it," Freddy thought to himself. "Maybe it's time to take a leap." The next morning, Freddy decided to be brave. "Lulu," he said, hopping over to his friend. "I'm ready. Let's go to the meadow." Lulu's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Really? Oh, Freddy, you're going to love it." As they made their way to the edge of the pond, Freddy's heart raced. The ground beyond the water felt strange under his feet, drier, warmer, and full of tiny pebbles and grass. But Freddy kept going, determined to take that leap of courage. When they reached the meadow, Freddy's eyes widened in amazement. The stories Lulu had told him didn't do it justice. The flowers were taller than he imagined, their petals swaying gently in the breeze. Bees buzzed past, collecting nectar from the blooms, and butterflies of every color danced in the air. "It's beautiful," Freddy whispered, taking it all in. But just as Freddy was starting to enjoy the meadow, a sudden gust of wind blew in, strong and fierce. The tall flowers swayed violently, and before Freddy knew it, Lulu was blown off her flower and into the air. "Lulu!" Freddy cried, his heart pounding. Lulu fluttered her wings desperately, but the wind was too strong. She was blown farther and farther away, heading toward a tall bush that stood on the other side of the meadow. Without thinking, Freddy sprang into action. He had never left the pond before today, but now, with his friend in trouble, he knew he had to be brave. His strong legs carried him across the meadow, leaping over rocks and tall grass, dodging flowers and plants that swayed in the wind. With each leap, Freddy's confidence grew. He may have been small, but he was fast and determined. Freddy's mind raced with thoughts of Lulu, his friend who had always encouraged him to be brave. Finally, Freddy reached the tall bush just as Lulu was caught in its branches. "Hold on, Lulu," Freddy called out, climbing up the bush with all his strength. With a swift and careful motion, Freddy freed Lulu from the branches, gently helping her to the ground. "Thank you, Freddy," Lulu said, her wings trembling. "You were so brave." Freddy smiled, feeling a warmth spread through him. "I couldn't let anything happen to you, Lulu. You've always believed in me, and now I know that I can be brave too." As they made their way back to the pond, the wind began to calm, and the meadow returned to its peaceful state. Freddy looked around at the flowers and butterflies, feeling proud of what he had accomplished. "You know, the meadow isn't so scary after all," Freddy said with a grin. "I think I'd like to come back here again." Lulu laughed. "I knew you'd love it. You're braver than you think, Freddy." From that day on, Freddy often ventured beyond the pond with Lulu, exploring new places and meeting new creatures. He learned that bravery wasn't about being fearless, it was about doing something even when you were scared. And with a good friend by his side, Freddy knew he could face any challenge.